Hello, this is Pat in the Cardboard Dungeon, and today we're going to talk about an expansion for the game Zombie Dice, which just came out. It's titled Zombie Dice 3, The School Bus, and you get this fat yellow D12. Pretty much consists of the entire expansion. There's a couple other things I'll show you, but it adds this big die with a bunch of extra rules and stuff to Zombie Dice. So let's take a look at how it plays, and then I'll tell you how I think it integrates itself into the game of Zombie Dice. Alright, so here's everything that you get with the school bus. You get the big, fat, chunky school bus die. You get a bunch of tokens for shotguns and brains. And these are used specifically with the school bus because if you re-roll it again, you're not going to be able to keep it, brain or shotgun, face up like you do with the normal dice. So anytime you have one of those off of this bus, you're going to take one of those tokens instead and put it in front of you. You also get a little rule sheet, of course, that just tells you what everything means on this and how to work it into the game. So how this works is you always start your turn by rolling 3 dice, just as in normal Zombie Dice. But then on following turns or following dice rolls in your turn, you can choose to get on board the school bus. Now this big school bus die, it never goes in the dice cup with the other dice. It always just sits sort of out next to it. And so if you choose to get on the bus, you're going to go ahead and roll that die. But you're always going to roll 3 dice. So you're going to also take 2 from the cup or re-roll footprint. Okay, so on this school bus die, about half of the faces are going to have the familiar brains or shotgun sides from regular Zombie Dice. And you've got a bunch of them. You got a double brain side, there's a single brain, there's even a triple brain side. And then there's also some sides that have brains and shotguns, which is kind of cool. And there's a double shotgun as well. So that's about 6 of the 12 sides of the dice right there. Just brains, shotguns, or brains and shotguns. And then you've got a bunch of brand new icons with their own special rules. And this first one here, this is a tire track. This means that you didn't get on the bus like you intended. Instead, you walked in front of it because you're a dumb zombie, and the bus ran over you, and it left. So you lose 1 brain if you've collected any brains so far on your turn, and you can't get on the bus again until your next turn. So that's kind of bad. Then we've got this dead end sign, and dead end is actually a cool one. You want to see this because this means that if you had any footprints on your other dice, they automatically turn into brains. So you trap people in the back of the bus, I guess, and you get their brains automatically, which is neat. That's a good one you want to get. There's another side on here that's fairly beneficial, the yield sign. That means that if you have any shotguns rolled alongside the yield, they don't shoot at you. Instead, they just try to run away. So it turns shotguns into footprints, which is neat. And then there's a stop sign, and this just means that if you see that, your turn is over. You collect any brains, if applicable, that you've rolled so far, collected so far for your turn, unless, of course, you have 3 shotguns at the same time. But this will end your turn, even if you could have continued rolling. Okay, and so there's one other rule with the school bus, and that is if you have footprints on your other dice, along with a side that's not one that converts footprints into brains, that means that the people ran off the bus, they're running away, and you have a decision to make. And this is kind of a neat aspect. It gives you an extra choice to have to make during the game. If you get off the bus to chase the runners, then you will go ahead and re-roll the 2 footprints along with another die from the cup to make 3 dice. But you've left the bus, so your bus is gone. But you can also stay on the bus, in which case the footprints, actually, they get set aside. They're gone. They got away. They're not going to go back in the cup until the end of your turn. And you can keep rolling the bus, and stay on the bus and hope for more and more brains. So that's kind of cool. It adds a decision that, there's not a whole lot of decision making in Zombie Dice. It's, do you keep rolling or do you stop rolling on every turn? So that's kind of a cool extra decision to have to make, and sometimes it can be beneficial. I mean, if you have a red die and it's showing footprints, you probably want to let that guy get away because that's the one that has a high chance of a shotgun showing up. So that's neat. Extra simple decision making added to the game. I like that one. I think if you're a fan of Zombie Dice, you want to pick up this expansion. It just adds more brains, more shotguns, some pretty cool new rules, more ways to press your luck. I mean, it's all good. The first expansion to Zombie Dice, the double feature that added Santa Claus and a couple extra dice that replaced normal dice from the game, we use that all the time, and we like that. It's a great expansion. And this just gives you more Zombie Dice. I will say, though, and let me say up front that I am not the kind of person that gets offended by theme with games. I don't really care. I will play this expansion with my friends, with my gamer friends. But I do play Zombie Dice a lot with my 6-year-old daughter, and I probably won't play this expansion with her because she rides a school bus every day and she has a great imagination, and I don't really want her thinking about either zombies getting on her bus or kids with guns on the bus fighting off zombies. I don't really want to have to explain to her why she just got 3 brains in the school bus and where they came from. It was hard enough to use the Santa Claus die with her, but we do play that with her a lot, and she thinks it's kind of funny, but she likes it that Santa Claus gives you brains as presents. And I don't tell her that you actually eat Santa's brain on one of those sides. She doesn't need to know that. But yeah, setting that aside, that's a minor thing, really. It's just a personal decision, you know. I will use this expansion. I like it. I like the idea. It's kind of funny in a morbid, twisted sort of way. But yeah, it's good. It's simple. It's maintains the easy to teach filler nature of Zombie Dice, and doesn't add anything to the length of the game. And I think it makes it a little more fun because you've got that extra decision to make. So Zombie Dice 3 School Bus, I give it that thumbs up and recommend it. Yeah, pick it up. It's $8 or $9 or less.